Week 15 of the fantasy football season, and here's a few defense DST units. I have his sleepers this week. The first one, the New Orleans Saints. So the Saints, I did have them in my top 12 at the defensive position this week here ranked. But anyway, they're still out there in tons of fantasy leagues, and it's surprising to me being available in 69% of leagues. So the last few games for the Saints, not the greatest of games, but it's a 1 week use only type of matchup. Week 10 at Pittsburgh, 20 points allowed, 6 sacks. Week 11 versus the Rams, 20 points allowed, 4 sacks. Week 12 at San Francisco, 13 points allowed, a sack. And Week 13 at Tampa Bay, 17 points allowed, a sack in it though, and a fumble recovery. So right here, they get into the quarterback a decent amount. Marshawn Lattimore should be back in this game. And they got the rookie Ritter starting at quarterback here for the Falcons. So we don't know what he's going to do. And I think this same team could put pressure on him and make a few plays. And obviously have a decent ball game this week. So I got him as a sleeper and a team in my top 10 as well at the defensive position this week. The next defense, the Arizona Cardinals. So this ball game could be a slop fest this week here with the 2 backup quarterbacks and Brett Rypien going to start for this Denver Bronco team. And the Broncos give up the 5th most fantasy points to DSTs on the season. So the last few weeks here, this Arizona defense has been horrible, no doubt about it. But like I said, they're 1 week use only at the position. Week 11 versus San Francisco, 38 points allowed in that one. Week 12 versus the Chargers, 25 points allowed, 4 sacks. And then Week 14 versus New England on that Monday Night Football game, 21 points allowed, a sack and an into. So right here is a 1 week only sleeper use at the Broncos that give up the 5th most fantasy points, and their team just banged up all around. Obviously, Russell Wilson probably not playing with the concussion issues. Cortland Sutton missed last week's game. We don't know if he's going to play. And at the running back position, they got the 2 veterans in Latavius Murray and Marlon Mack, who are still solid options, but not guys who are going to break loose and carry an offense. I think the Cardinals actually on the road this week here could buckle down a little bit and have a decent game, and they're available in 76% of fantasy leagues. And the third and final defense DST unit I have as a sleeper this week is the Carolina Panthers. So the Panthers right now, their DST is available in tons of fantasy leagues at 79% here. And they got a good matchup versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, where it looks like Mitchell Trubisky is probably going to be the starting quarterback in this game. And we know Trubisky's good for a sack a few times a game. We know he's good for 1 or 2 interceptions. That's just how he's been throughout his career, going back with the Chicago Bears a few seasons ago. And this Carolina unit's been surprising as well for the most part. Week 10 versus Atlanta, 15 points allowed, 5 sacks and into a block kick. Week 11 in Baltimore, 13 points allowed, 3 sacks and into. Week 12 versus Denver, 10 points allowed, 3 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries. And even Week 14 at Seattle versus red-hot Geno Smith, 24 points allowed in that one, 3 sacks and 2 windows. So this week here, I think they could do damage. Back home for them versus Pittsburgh, that offensive line's banged up. And if it's even Kenny Pickett who's going to play in this one, I still think they make plays. So right now, their defense I have is a sleeper this week. So that's a few defense DST units I have as sleepers here for Week 15 of the fantasy football season.